So I want to make this video. A friend of mine suggested I make this video about hypnotized. Not how to hypnotize someone. Hypnotize is very hard to say 3 times really fast. But how most of you, my friend says, he looks around and he can see now that most of you in life are basically hypnotized. So let's talk about that for a few minutes. Okay, I'll let you look at the water here. I won't force you to keep looking at those stupid glasses that I got for $2 at the Walmart somewhere. So, are you hypnotized? What is my friend talking about? I will make a video about this. You see, most of you are hypnotized in your routine. And what my friend is suggesting is you go about your daily routine and it never changes, like you're hypnotized, like you can't get out of it. You act like you don't have any choices in life, that you must do this every day. You only have one choice, and that's to stick to the system of the house, the 2-car garage, the 2.5 kids, the white picket fence, and hopefully you get good neighbors, and all you have to do is work 40 years, 60 hours a week to obtain all this, and then when you get ready and get old, it's still not enough because the rulers, the players of the game, the ones who make the rules, have changed the rules. The government, by the time you get to retirement, the government has raised taxes. Have you ever seen taxes go down over the decades? No. Everybody in America used to pay 4%. Now what are you paying? 50 years ago, everyone was paying 4% federal income tax. Most state taxes 50 years ago were like 1 to 2%. So, see, by the time you go through this whole entire system of being hypnotized for 40, 50 years, and you think you made it, they change the rules on you, and most of you do not know how to respond to that. It's not just that. Now, let me prove to you how you are hypnotized. I can prove it to you because you do the same thing over and over and over and over, and it usually doesn't work, but you keep doing it anyway. Most people live a life of like paying the minimums on a credit card. That's what their entire life is like. That lady just stared at me. I don't think she liked my camera. So most of you live a life, you know, like you're paying the minimums on your credit card. But I'm not talking about credit cards. I'm talking about you and your life. You know, you pay the minimums, the credit card never gets paid off. I mean, I've known people who've owed about $3,000 on a credit card. They pay the minimums for 20 years, and their card's only half paid off. If they would have only changed, now I'm talking about you still, the people, those of you who have been hypnotized by the system of this world. If they would have only paid an extra $25 a month, they'd have cut the 20 years down to 8 years. Look at the difference there. 12 extra years of life. You see, you're looking at this beautiful place here, and most of you will never see it. And not only that, the people who live here, they might drive by it once every 2 or 3 months. Excuse me, I had to blow my nose. You see, let me finish by saying you are hypnotized. The system does not work. And who says the system that you're following is correct? It's not working for you. Your house never gets paid off. You never have time to go anywhere. If you do get 2 weeks a year vacation, you spend the whole week, 2 weeks, kicking yourself in the ass because you're like, I mean, it takes the average person 2 weeks just to calm down enough to enjoy a few days on your vacation. So, okay, let me give you the solution. I always give solutions. Sell everything you have immediately. I don't care if you take a loss on it. Sell it. You'll be better off. At least you get rid of the payments. Next thing you need to do is become debt-free as soon as possible. And yes, I'm talking about selling your house. The next thing you need to do after that is start living on 80% of your income. The next thing you need to do after that, now that you're only living on $1,000 a month or something, it can be done. Millions of Americans do it. You know, probably 20, 30 million Americans do it. It's just the other 250 million of you, no, the other 300 million of you wonder how they're doing it. Well, they're just spending less. They don't buy things. They don't buy houses. They don't buy new cars. But the one thing they have that you don't have, it's the same thing I have, time. It is your time. Time does not control me. I control my time weekly. I live so happy because I am not hypnotized, like my friend suggested I make this video. I'm not hypnotized. No, I used to work 80 hours a week. Now, I used to be hypnotized. I found the answer. I used to work 80 hours a week for almost 10 years as a restaurant manager. Wow. That totally sucked. I've had a couple friends here recently die. They both died at 57 years old, right before retirement. And they both died while they were working. I'm telling you. See, because when you're in the system and you're hypnotized in the system, let me end with this reality of why the system does not work. And why you would be better off just to do what you know you're supposed to be doing in your heart. The system does not work because when you're working so much for money like that, so many hours, you don't have time to go walking. You're usually stuck standing behind a cash register all day, not getting any exercise. Your legs aren't moving, your body's not moving. Then you come home and you follow the system like a good hypnotized little soldier. And you eat the big, huge meal. You know, you're supposed to have your biggest meal of the day in the morning. And then you're supposed to have a nice-sized lunch. And then your body starts winding down. You see, our grandparents never used to have really big, huge meals like that at nighttime. Because they realized they'd have to go to bed pretty soon. They usually had a cup of soup, not a bowl of soup, no bread. They had a cup of soup and maybe a banana or a couple small biscuits before they went to bed, and they drank water, and that's how people used to live. And the funny thing is, we are not living any longer today than they were. Matter of fact, they might have lived 4 or 5 years shorter. However, they were in much better shape. They owed less money. Things cost less. You see, we might be living 3 or 4 years longer today, but it's it's at the cost of we're all fat. We're all out of shape. None of us can walk over 4 miles, without passing out. The average person in today's society is 40 pounds overweight. So that's the video. I decided to make it. I could probably write a book about it. I could talk about it for a long time. Think about it. I want you to think about the question my friend asked me. The question my friend asked me was this: please make a video about all the people that seem to be hypnotized into the system, and they don't realize that they just can't get out. It's like you got out of high school or out of college, and they tapped you on the forehead, and you looked at them, and they said, here's the plan, here's the system, here's what you will do for the next 50 years. And you just said, yes, master. Yes, master. Yes, master. Yes, master. I will get a big house with big payments. I will have 2 car payments. I will pay insurance. I will pay health care. I will pay all my taxes. I will have 11 credit cards that are all at max. I will follow the system. I will paint my house, the fence, white. Yes, master.